Have you ever wondered what you're doing in the 30 minutes after a meal that could silently put your health at risk? As a doctor with 40 years of experience, I thought I knew it all, until I collapsed in my bathroom, struck by a transient ischemic attack, a warning sign of a stroke. That moment flipped my world upside down, from saving lives to fighting for my own. What I learned could save you or someone you love from a similar fate. Stick with me to uncover 3 critical mistakes you must avoid after eating to protect your heart, lungs, and brain. This video isn't just another health lecture. It's a wake-up call drawn from real stories, including my near miss with a stroke and the life-changing experiences of patients like Helen Carter, William Turner, and Henry Foster. You'll hear how lying down, taking a hot bath, or exercising too soon after a meal led to emergencies like aspiration pneumonia, strokes, and heart attacks. These aren't rare cases. They're risks we all face, especially after 65 when our bodies can't bounce back like they used to. By watching to the end, you'll gain practical, science-backed tips to transform those crucial 30 minutes into a shield for your health. Learn how small changes, like sitting upright or timing your baths, can prevent life-altering consequences. Subscribe, like, and watch until the end to arm yourself with the knowledge that could add years to your life. Don't wait for a hospital bed to teach you what I learned the hard way. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. The first thing to avoid is lying down immediately after eating. The very first and most crucial thing we must all learn to avoid is lying down immediately after finishing a meal. It may sound like a small detail, something so ordinary that many of us hardly think twice about it, but the consequences can be profound, especially as we grow older. Take the story of Margaret Reynolds, a remarkable woman now 78 years old, who for decades had embodied the ideal of disciplined, healthy living. Margaret was a beacon of vitality and strength. For over 50 years, she woke up every morning at 6 a.m. without fail, embraced each day with purpose, and went to bed promptly at 10 p.m. Her family often marveled at how she had never once been hospitalized, how she radiated an energy many half her age envied. She genuinely believed that her lifelong dedication to careful habits and mindful choices had gifted her the blessing of longevity and good health. But life, as it so often does, reminded Margaret, and all of us, that even the best habits require awareness and adjustment. One unforgettable evening, her entire family gathered in joy and pride to celebrate a momentous occasion. Her beloved grandson Andrew had just been accepted into the prestigious Harvard University. The atmosphere was electric with happiness, and Margaret poured her heart into preparing a lavish feast. Succulent seafood, tender steaks, colorful vegetables, all laid out to honor this milestone. In the spirit of celebration, she allowed herself to indulge just a little more than usual. After the meal, feeling a satisfying fullness and a gentle wave of contentment, Margaret sought comfort and relaxation. She sank into the plush living room couch, a soft sigh escaping her lips, and casually told her family, "I just want to rest for a few minutes." Isn't that what everyone does after dinner? The question was light-hearted, but in hindsight, it echoed with a quiet uncertainty. Within 20 minutes, however, that restful pause took a frightening turn. Margaret found herself struggling to breathe, the tightness in her chest growing sharper by the second. At first, she brushed it off as mere indigestion, but soon her discomfort became unbearable. A relentless cough gripped her, and each breath felt like climbing a steep mountain. Panic began to rise. Fortunately, Andrew, who was studying medicine, immediately recognized the severity of her symptoms. With calm urgency, he dialed 911, and that decisive moment undoubtedly saved her life. Years later, Margaret's voice would tremble with gratitude as she recalled, "That boy saved my life." At the emergency room, doctors quickly discovered that her oxygen levels had plummeted dangerously low, and imaging revealed a shadow lurking in her lung, a sign of aspiration pneumonia. Somehow, food and acid had escaped the stomach and invaded her lungs, causing inflammation and making it almost impossible to breathe. So, how did this happen to someone as careful and healthy as Margaret? The answer lies deep within the natural rhythms of our bodies. After eating, Our system sends up to 25% more blood rushing to the stomach and digestive tract to manage the heavy work of breaking down food. When we lie down immediately, the force of gravity, the silent guardian that keeps our stomach contents safely where they belong, is suddenly lost. This makes it much easier for stomach acids and food to slip back up into the esophagus, causing reflux. In youth, the lower esophageal sphincter acts like a strong, reliable gatekeeper, snapping shut tightly to keep the acid where it belongs. But aging changes everything. This muscle becomes weaker and less elastic, much like a once-tight rubber band that has been stretched and worn over the years. Margaret confessed, "I used to get heartburn quite often. Looking back, that was probably my body warning me of reflux." To make matters worse, aging dulls our body's natural reflexes, especially the cough reflex that usually protects our airways from irritation or intrusion. Younger people tend to cough immediately when something goes down the wrong way, clearing the airway fast. But older adults often have a delayed or weakened reflex, increasing the risk of accidentally inhaling food or acid into the lungs, a condition known as aspiration, which can quickly escalate into pneumonia. Medical research underscores this vulnerability. Studies show that cough reflex sensitivity drops by roughly 40% in people over 65 compared to those in their 30s. This decline isn't just a minor inconvenience. It's a serious risk factor that explains why aspiration pneumonia disproportionately affects seniors. Margaret's recovery, after a tense week in the hospital filled with antibiotics, oxygen therapy, and attentive care, was a blessing she never took for granted. This ordeal became a powerful wake-up call. Now, she proudly says, "My grandchildren are like my personal health coaches. If I even think about lying back on the couch, they're quick to remind me, 'Grandma, sit up straight.'" Today, Margaret either remains upright or takes gentle, leisurely walks around the house for at least half an hour after every meal. This simple, mindful change has not only shielded her from future pneumonia but also eased her chronic heartburn and soothed her irritated esophagus. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. If there's one heartfelt lesson from Margaret's experience, it's this: small choices matter immensely, especially as we age. To protect your health and dignity, try these essential tips. Stay sitting upright for at least 30 minutes after eating. Let gravity do its quiet work, keeping your stomach contents down. Take a slow, gentle walk if you can. Movement aids digestion and helps your body process food naturally. No need for strenuous exercise. Be mindful of portion sizes. Overeating can flood your stomach and increase reflux risk, so if you do indulge, extend your upright time accordingly. If you must lie down, elevate your upper body with pillows or an adjustable bed set at a 30-degree angle or higher. This simple adjustment can make all the difference in preventing acid backflow. These precautions are especially vital for seniors or anyone with a history of acid reflux, chronic coughing, or fragile airway protection. So now, I ask you, do you find yourself lying down right after meals? Have you considered how those next 30 minutes might shape your health in the days, months, and years to come? It's never too late to start treating your body with the care and respect it deserves. Remember Margaret's story, the joy, the scare, and ultimately, the hope that came with renewed awareness. Your body is your lifelong companion. Cherish it, protect it, and take those small, powerful steps today. The second thing to avoid is taking a hot bath right after eating. Take John Mitchell's story, for example. At 72 years old, John was more than just a retired businessman. He was the proud owner and heart behind a beloved wellness spa that had served his hometown for over 25 years. For John, bathing was never just a routine task of cleansing the body. It was a sacred, almost spiritual ritual. Each evening, after the day's demands had faded, John would immerse himself in warm, soothing water heated to a perfect 108 degrees Fahrenheit, a sanctuary where worries melted away, muscles relaxed, and peace enveloped him. He often said with a smile, "Nothing beats 20 minutes in a hot bath to calm my muscles and help me drift peacefully into sleep." This routine, he believed, was his secret to health and longevity. But one fateful night, after a rich and hearty family dinner filled with laughter and love, John followed his usual pattern and slipped into his warm bath without hesitation. Within minutes, the comforting warmth betrayed him. A sudden dizziness swept over him. His vision blurred into a frightening haze, and his heart began to race uncontrollably. Then came the terrifying weakness. his right arm and leg refusing to respond, as if his own body had turned against him. His daughter-in-law, Lisa, a caring registered nurse, sensed something was wrong when John didn't emerge from the bathroom. When she checked, she found him slumped in the tub, pale, sweating, and with the unmistakable droop of his mouth's right corner. A silent scream for help. Lisa's quick recognition of the signs of a stroke and immediate call to 911 made all the difference. At the hospital, the shock of the diagnosis hit John and his family hard. His blood pressure was dangerously high, and his right side was weakened, clear signs of an acute ischemic stroke in a critical brain area controlling movement and speech. Thankfully, he reached the hospital just in time for clot-busting treatment, which saved him from severe long-term disabilities. Still, the trauma of that night lingered, a stark reminder of how fragile health can be, even for those who feel invincible. Why did this happen? It's a question that cuts deep into our understanding of the body's delicate balance. After a meal, our body redirects about a quarter to a third of its blood flow to the digestive system, a natural process to break down food. This leaves less blood circulating to vital organs like the brain, which itself demands a hefty 20% of our body's oxygen supply. Adding to this, soaking in hot water dilates blood vessels near the skin, pulling even more blood away from the brain and core organs as the body struggles to regulate temperature. For younger, healthier people, this might be a minor inconvenience. But for seniors like John, whose blood vessels have lost elasticity and whose bodies struggle with temperature regulation, this blood flow diversion can be a ticking time bomb. The body becomes vulnerable to heat stress, dizziness, fainting, and in the worst cases, strokes or mini-strokes. Research has shown brain blood flow can plummet by up to 20% during hot baths taken right after eating, enough to trigger serious neurological emergencies. This frightening ordeal forced John to rethink everything he believed about his beloved baths. Now, with humility and a hint of humor, he shares his hard-earned wisdom. He waits at least an hour after eating before bathing, keeps his water temperature below 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and limits his soak to no more than 15 minutes, always setting a timer. After all those years running a spa, I thought I knew it all about baths, he laughed softly. But this taught me what true bathing wisdom means. So please, take these heartfelt tips to heart, especially if you or your loved ones are in the golden years of life. Always wait at least 1 full hour after a meal before stepping into the bath. For heavy meals, 2 hours is even safer. Keep bath water temperature moderate, between 100 degrees Fahrenheit and 104 degrees Fahrenheit, to avoid stressing your blood vessels. Limit bath time to 15 minutes or less to prevent dehydration or imbalance. At the first sign of dizziness, racing heart, or breathing trouble, get out slowly and safely. If you have high blood pressure, heart issues, diabetes, or frequent dizziness, exercise even more caution. Think about your habits. Do you rush into a hot bath right after dinner? Are older family members left alone during their baths? Bathrooms can be dangerous places, especially for seniors. A little care and attention can mean everything, a chance to protect the people you love most. John's story is a powerful reminder that even the most cherished routines need a little care and respect. Take care of your body, listen to its signals, and bathe wisely. Your life might just depend on it. The third thing to avoid is intense exercise after eating. Take James "Jim" Harrison, for example, a vibrant 67-year-old retired high school physical education teacher whose love for staying active was as strong as ever. Jim was more than just active. He was a true inspiration in his community. Hiking rugged local hills 3 times a week and cycling nearly 18 miles on most weekends, he earned the affectionate nickname Iron Grandpa from his neighbors. His mantra, "Age is just a number," carried so much heart and truth. Jim always smiled and said, "Regular exercise is the key to staying young at heart and body." I remember hearing this and feeling inspired. How wonderful it is to see someone so dedicated to life and movement, refusing to let age define them. But then came a chilling autumn morning that changed everything. After enjoying a hearty breakfast, scrambled eggs, savory sausage, fluffy pancakes, and a robust cup of coffee, Jim discovered that the nearby mountain trails were ablaze in stunning fall colors at their peak. Fueled by excitement and his unyielding spirit, he set out immediately for a challenging hike, unaware of the danger lurking. At first, the climb felt harder than usual, Jim later recounted with a hint of regret. My breathing was heavy, my chest felt tight, but I told myself, "That's just getting older," so I kept going. That innocent self-reassurance, so common in many of us, can sometimes mask a perilous reality. Suddenly, halfway up the trail, intense, crushing chest pain struck with the force of a nightmare. It felt like an unbearable weight squeezing his chest, and cold sweat drenched his forehead. His breath became shallow and ragged. Before he could even call out, Jim collapsed, the world spinning away beneath him. Thankfully, fate intervened in the form of a nearby hiker who was a trained EMT. She sprang into action, performing CPR with calm urgency while another hiker called 911. Jim was airlifted by helicopter to the nearest hospital, where the terrifying diagnosis was confirmed: a heart attack. The tests revealed an acute myocardial infarction caused by a severe blockage, over 90%, in the dreaded left anterior descending artery, often called the widowmaker. Emergency stent placement was necessary to save his life. It was a stark and brutal reminder of how quickly things can change, even for the healthiest among us. Why did this happen right after a meal and during exercise? The answer lies deep within our body's complex system. After eating, about 25 to 30% of our blood flow is redirected to the stomach and intestines to aid digestion, a figure nearly double the usual resting blood flow. Meanwhile, intense exercise demands an increased blood supply to our muscles. The heart struggles, trying to pump enough blood to both the digestive system and the active muscles simultaneously. This impossible juggling act forces the heart to work harder, raising heart rate, blood pressure, and oxygen consumption. Yet, paradoxically, the heart muscle itself may not receive enough oxygen. For older adults like Jim, whose heart muscles are less flexible and often burdened by some degree of coronary artery disease, this dangerous imbalance can trigger severe chest pain, abnormal heart rhythms, or even heart attacks. Scientific studies confirm this risk. A notable report published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology showed that the risk of heart attack during intense exercise within an hour after eating is approximately 2.5 times higher than at other times. This is not a minor risk. It's a life-altering statistic that deserves serious attention. Dr. Michael Roberts, a respected sports medicine physician, explains it simply yet profoundly. The body isn't designed to digest food and engage in strenuous physical activity at the same time. After eating, the parasympathetic nervous system activates rest and digestion functions, while exercise triggers the sympathetic nervous system's fight-or-flight response. This conflict puts immense stress on the heart. After his hospitalization, Jim spent 3 long weeks recovering, reflecting deeply on his life and choices. His story didn't end in tragedy. It became a turning point. "Now, I take it easy," he told me with a grateful smile. "I walk slowly around my yard for at least an hour after meals. I always check the clock before I start anything more intense. Since then, I've lost 11 pounds. My blood pressure is better than it's been in years, and honestly, I feel healthier now than I did in my youth." Jim's experience turned him into a passionate advocate for safe exercise habits among seniors. He regularly speaks at community centers and senior groups, sharing his hard-won wisdom. Hearing his story reminds me how vital it is to listen to our bodies and respect their limits. Here are some essential tips I urge you to follow for safe post-meal activity. Avoid strenuous or intense physical activity for at least 1 hour after eating. If you have heart issues or slower digestion, consider waiting 1.5 hours or more. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Stick to gentle movements like slow walking during this time. Fast-paced or vigorous exercise is a no-go. If you prefer intense workouts, schedule them before meals or wait at least an hour after eating. Always warm up gradually to prepare your heart and muscles. If you ever experience chest pain, shortness of breath, dizziness, or palpitations, stop exercising immediately and seek medical help. People with high blood pressure, diabetes, angina, or arrhythmias should always consult their healthcare provider for personalized advice. Jim wisely says, "Accepting your body's limits isn't a sign of weakness. It's wisdom that can add years to your life." I couldn't agree more. These 3 golden rules: don't lie down right after meals, avoid hot baths immediately after eating, and skip intense exercise for at least 30 minutes post-meal, are lessons drawn from countless patients and decades of medical experience. They're especially crucial for those of us over 65 when our bodies naturally lose some of their reserve capacity and resilience. Younger bodies might bounce back from risky habits, but older adults are far more vulnerable. For example, younger people's cough reflexes can clear inhaled material effectively, while seniors have weaker reflexes, increasing pneumonia risk. Similarly, youthful blood vessels adapt better to changes in blood flow, but older vessels don't, making hot baths and intense exercise potentially dangerous. How do I stay healthier at 83 than I was in my younger years? It's the small, consistent habits that count the most. After 55 years as a physician, I've witnessed firsthand how tiny lifestyle choices, especially how we manage the critical 30 minutes after meals, can create monumental differences in health and longevity. Since my transient ischemic attack at 78, I have strictly followed these rules. Thanks to that discipline, I remain healthy enough to lecture weekly, sharing these life-saving lessons with others. I sincerely hope Jim's story and these insights inspire you to care for your heart with the same devotion. Please, listen to your body. Honor its signals. Protect your heart, because there's nothing more precious than the gift of life itself. Thank you so much for watching and spending time with us today. We've covered some incredibly important lessons about the risks of intense exercise right after eating, especially for those of us in the later stages of life. Jim's story is a powerful reminder that listening to our bodies and adjusting our habits can truly save lives and improve our health. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What is one thing you've learned so far from this video that you plan to bring into your daily routine? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else. If you found this video helpful, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support helps us continue to share valuable health tips that can make a real difference in the lives of seniors everywhere. Take care of yourself, listen to your body, and remember, small changes today can mean a healthier tomorrow.